Well, welcome back, folks. Today's video is going to be about my trip to the Northern Indiana Model Engine Show last Saturday. I took a trip down there. Spent about 3 hours at the show, and I just shot some random video as I was wandering through. My intent was to try to capture the flavor of the show and give you a feel for what it was all about. I did very little editing here. A couple of places you'll see where I rotated the camera from vertical or horizontal or landscape to portrait. I was playing around a little bit with my camera to see how that worked. It didn't work very well, actually, but I thought I'd try that, as well as in a couple of cases I did it intentionally to try to capture the project that I was viewing and keep the folks on the side, the people on the side, out of the view. So probably won't do that again, but it was an experiment, and you'll see that as we go through it. A couple of things I'd like to highlight. Towards the beginning of the video, you'll see a lot of time I spent on a 5-cylinder Radial aircraft type engine that two guys have been working on putting together. They bought off-the-shelf components such as cylinders, heads. It's an overhead cam. It's going to be an overhead cam engine. It's not quite finished yet. It's quite impressive. They did all their own engineering, and in particular around the crankshaft and the ellipse of a radial engine, which is quite involved. I understand the basics, but I certainly couldn't do what these guys did. So you'll see quite a bit of conversation at the beginning around that radial engine, and I think later on in the video there's a little clip of the inside of the crankshaft. The other thing I like to mention is that there was a gentleman there that was doing 3D plastic printing. And he had a lot of little novelty items such as this. Those of you that work with mechanics a lot, which probably all of you on this video do, there's always that joke around you can never find your 10mm socket or you lose them. And this is, again, a novelty. It says emergency use only, and then it has a 10mm socket in there. And he also had this little working engine, or two pistons rather, it's not really an engine, and he had all kinds of pieces there. And I picked these up, these two together for I think $5. A lot of other stuff as well. And you will see him, I asked him to hold up his card, his business card. He sent me or gave me a couple of them as well. If you want to have 3D printing done, he'll do prototyping for you, the CAD work, the whole 9 yards. And he does custom printing. He is located physically not that far from me in terms of as a crow flies. And I thought his 3D printing was quite interesting. He's been doing it, I think he said, for about 15 years. So you'll see that in there as well. If you're into model engines, modeling, machining, 3D printing, you might find this of interest. So let's go ahead and take a look. I just got here. The show just opened about 15 minutes ago, so I haven't walked around yet. It already looks a little bigger than what it was last year at this time. Looks like it's going to be a nice show. This is a different perspective from the other side of the space that I just shot the video from. Still a lot of open tables. These will likely fill in as the day progresses. At least they did last year. You don't see these Unimats every day. Little tiny lathe. Indexing head for a mill. Those can get quite expensive. I am on video. Is that a model of something in particular?
No.
Where'd you get the plans?
You might have been one of them, Ashley.
Wow.
I could buy GY6 scooter cylinders and all components, valve covers and everything. And my friend machine, crankcase, crankshaft, all the gears that go through it, assembled before.
No kidding. Do you mind if I put this on YouTube? What's the displacement, you know?
It's 169 cc's per cylinder, so it's 857 cc's.
Very impressive.
We just assembled these fuel injectors for the show in this position because they bolt on. But we want to turn these 90 degrees so they point backwards, and we have to 3D print intake manifold to do that for machine.
So the engine's not running right now?
It's turning over but not running yet.
Correct. Could you run it again for me, please, just for...
This is running by the starter.
So these are all the components that you acquired to put this engine together.
Now this is the things that Bill machined up here.
Okay, so that would be all of these items.
Yes. He even machined this incorrectly, and now it's a pencil holder.
No. Well, that happens.
That happens.
I know.
Now the master rod, we originally started with that idea, but it turned out that it didn't work.
Why didn't it work?
Are you familiar with radials?
I am.
When you run a radial, these bore holes are running in an ellipse. They don't run in a circle.
Correct. Right.
So
They do this kind of a thing.
They're not. When we assembled the engine and put this rod in, two of the cylinders came out of the bottom of the bore, 5.5 wheels have. These being an ellipse, that we went with a knife and fork arrangement, like on a centralized one rod terminal.
Really?
Later on today, we're going to assemble it. Front. We'll take the prop off and assemble it with a clear plastic front cover so that everybody can see
the motion. Yeah. If you're not familiar with radials and you don't understand that elliptical,
that's why Bill made this
the model.
To when it comes out to 72 degrees, these did not line. They don't line up. The piston pin, the link pin, and the rod journal and the center of the crankshaft do not line up. They actually, you got to rotate it a little bit more to get into line. So we could determine where to put the hole to make all those line up. And that's it. So that even in
the engineering,
and we moved the pin hole for the link. And actually, in that engine, we have 3 knife and fork pistons, connecting rods, and 2 master rod links.
Okay.
So it's a hybrid.
Yeah. Very impressive. Very, very impressive.
And Bill's one of the excellent.
Is that the gentleman there?
Bill Dixon is one, and he's going to start a YouTube channel. He is on Facebook pages.
Put that hole, and I'm able to adjust the length of the rod, adjust the length of the stroke.
And you're not an engineer?
No, I'm a machinist. Never went to school. These slots here represent the top of the cylinder.
Sure.
And the bottom of the skirt down here. That's the overall length of the cylinder. This is the actual shape of the piston. Same diameter,
Gotcha.
same
Yeah,
length,
yeah.
same pin. Distance from the center to the top. It's all the same. This is the actual stroke of the engine, 29 millimeter stroke.
My goodness.
The bottom of this piston has a key to ride in that slot.
Sure.
And this fixture answered a lot of questions. Resolved a lot of issues.
Sure.
Right there is 3 lines in the middle. You know that middle line is 90 degrees from here.
Sure.
And all the others are 2-degree increments. So I was able to determine
Right.
exactly where I wanted
You
this
gotta
to
get
be.
your timing just right.
Just right. Came out just right on the rod, on the crankshaft that's in there. This one was all wrong. Later on today, you'll be able to see the inside of that engine. We're going to put this clear cover on the front.
Sure.
And you get to see all the inner workings. Fun.
Well, I'm impressed.
Straight lines and circles. Piston going up and down the cylinder. Master rod going around the crankshaft. That's the center of the crankshaft.
Well, for not being an engineer and having no background, I'm very, very impressed.
Is that they're just known numbers. We had to just do what they came up with. I had to make it fit the GY6 dimensions.
So you're working with CNC machining.
Yeah, in my garage. That's
On that lathe, or most of it,
on a what lathe?
on that lathe, or this mill rather, I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is a Prototrack bed mill with an SMX controller, and that's the Prototrack lathe with the SLX controller.
So everything was machined on these 2 pieces of equipment.
Yes, everything. And look, it's really a very simple profile. It's 3 lines of data to do 1 tooth, and then you just take that tooth and copy it around. And prior to actually cutting the tooth profile, I took a woodruff cutter and undercut all the way around.
Sure.
And then I just had to cut in order to get the chain to fit.
Yeah. Exactly. So you were a machinist by trade.
50 years of it.
Well, that gave you a good foundation. This is the wives' space. They hang out here. Some of them, not all of them, of course. Their husbands and significant others are off wandering the show. Entrance to another hall. This is new. We didn't have this layout running last year.
can go online right through the software and select the tender to build it for you.
Okay.
And you can get right into like
Right.
When I got lazy, I got tired of making brass inserts for bearings. Now I just make the whole rod out of bronze.
That makes more sense. You don't have to do that all the time.
I think I've already done that. That's pretty cool.
That's 8. You gotta turn the idle up a little bit. Oh, yeah.
Does it sound like the real one? A little bit? Good every time.
I don't think they got quite as many tools this year as what they had last year. If you're looking for tools, you can probably find it here somewhere.
My machine is like a little over 12 inches cubed.
Add dimensions. Can you work from a rough sketch?
Yes, I've been in development for 40 years. So if you give me a rough napkin sketch, I can convert it into CAD data for you.
Okay. So you could do prototyping for people if they need something done or create a finished item.
Yes,
Do you have a business card?
yes, I do.
Could you show it, please? Just hold it up.
Those are a little bit smaller. We can compact it down by going smaller gear. With the sprockets are still the same size.
Let me get some oil on the top end of that. Really disappointing.
You're probably the same way as I am. You start out with a plan, never exactly like you wanted. So it took me a little year to build it. All available. And there's some really big stuff in there. Really.
Quite impressive. Did you make all that?
No, it's made by Sato in Japan. This was a kit you had to build.
Push mind a husky. They have a lot of classic vehicles on display in the same space. This building was actually used by Cord, as you can see here on this sign, to do final fit and finish. The building was constructed in 1928. I did not know that. I've been to this building several times, but I was not aware it was once used by Cord for manufacturing. There's quite a Cord Duesenberg museum here on these grounds, or close to here anyway. Well, I'm on my way out, so that's going to be it for another year. It's been about 3 hours here total, and now it's going to be a couple hour drive home. They already have the dates planned for next year's event, which is the first weekend in October. So that was this year's show. They already have next year's show planned for, I think, the first weekend in October. The dates are already on their calendar, and if everything works out, I'll probably plan to attend once again next year. That's going to be it for the video today, folks. Any issues, questions, thoughts, drop me a note. Otherwise, as usual, thanks for watching.